Welcome, everybody. Sorry for being just a few minutes late. Just had to take care of a few extra things, but we're here. Thanks for coming by. Today we got Perp with us. How you doing, Perp?
I don't remember which button on this controller is push to talk. Yeah, there we go. Doing all right. Had to move some furniture, so my shoulders are a bit sore, but nothing I can't manage.
Fair enough. I was doing yard work yesterday, so I can relate to the sore shoulders. Also with us today is Holly. How you doing, Holly?
Hi, I'm doing well.
Excellent. And of course, I'm Isaac. And I'm okay. I made 3 hot dogs for lunch. Surely I will not regret eating 3 hot dogs for lunch.
Mm.
I am already regretting eating 3 hot dogs for lunch.
That's too many
Anyway,
dogs.
that's way too many dogs. You know all about too many dogs. So. Anyway. Well, you want to tell us what we're working on today, Perp?
Yeah, it's a bit of a swerve from the video editing stuff. Drawn a termite that's about to launch a rock at this guy in the background. It's an older piece. You can tell by the amount of chicken scratch the original sketch was.
Still cool, though. Still sick.
Mm-hmm.
This is also, if I remember correctly, a companion piece to another piece of card art that you made years ago as well, right?
Maybe? It's been a while.
I'll bring it into the. I'll show you the piece that I'm thinking of later on, but yeah, we are very close to being able to have a minimum viable showcase of cards to be able to work on the next step to this year's colony goals, which in addition to the Song of Origins videos that we're working on, we're also trying to get kind of like a game trailer kind of a thing ready for you guys. Won't give too many details on it just now, but we're hoping to show off some rough ideas of what we want the cards to look like. We want to show off a little bit of how the game's played, and we'll tell you more about it later. But that is in the works, and this will be the last piece of art we'll need before we get to order some of those nicely printed cards for it for that video. More details to come. You'll probably also be familiar with the fact that we're doing that at all if you are over on our Discord server, by the way. We do community hangout nights. Not just nights, days as well. But the past little while, I've been working on miniatures. And smooth segue. Thank you, Yolf. I've been working on miniatures for this trailer, and they're not going to be anything close to the final products of miniatures that we're gonna hopefully one day offer. They're just little kit bashes of parts that I've been assembling to kind of show proof of concept on things. So the hopefully within the next few days. I'll be streaming that again in the Discord server, and I'm on the last stage of of completing a het. So it's a moth folk, and I just need to paint it. That'll be the last step. So if you want to come and hang out, watch me paint a moth, hop in the Discord server, come hang out with us, and keep an eye out for when we're streaming. It'll be either tomorrow or Thursday. Not sure just yet.
Hey, Mary, just so you know, you have a little bit of an echo on your end. I think we can hear the stream on the delay.
Oh, weird. Let me go check some things. That's strange. I shouldn't.
Nope, never mind. It was on my end. We're good.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. I had the stream open in another window, and I was like, why can I hear Mirror twice? But yeah,
Okay. Fair
we're
enough.
good.
The phantom
Glad I-
call.
Yeah. Glad I do not have to adjust any settings that I don't know what would be wrong with them. Because I have to have one or two instances of the stream open at a time. Usually it's one on my phone and one on my desktop. And sometimes I forget to turn the audio off for it, so that can happen. But yeah, I thought I was very sure of turning the audio off for both of them.
Nope, you're good.
Yeah. Thank God.
We have a question over in the YouTube chat.
Do you want to give Games Workshop your money? Nah. That was actually when I was looking for bits and pieces for the miniature that I've been working on. I went into my local game shop, my LGS, and I was asking them if they had any like minis that resembled insects or were like bug-like, and they didn't have any of like the WizKids, like the giant ant minis or anything like that. They had a specific selection, and so they actually offered. They were like, I mean, the closest thing we've got is Tyranids, and I was like, that's not quite what I'm going for, but thank you. In fact, most of the parts that I've been working with to build these minis, I've had to. So the bulk of the stuff that I was like kit bashing with actually came from Tube Toys from Michaels. Shout out to Tube Toys. You got a lot of bugs. And so like the majority of like the core body of the torso and head came from that. But I also did a lot of custom sculpting, and that's been its own thing to, because it's been a very long time since I've done any miniature work like this, and so relearning how to sculpt and so there's this plumber's putty that you can get that is like a 2-part epoxy putty, and it sets very, very fast, and there's an equivalent to it that's used in like the model making world called green stuff, or at least that's the brand for I think Citadel makes it. I could be wrong. That might be Army Painter. Don't remember exactly the brand, but it's the same stuff. It's just a different formulation. The plumber's putty stuff is it sets in like 5 minutes. So you have to mix it, get it on your character, and then work it as fast as you can. And the reason why I was using that stuff is because it was just cheaper to do so. But so I've been it's a big hodgepodge of like the sculptor putty and trying to find other materials that I could use to give strength to certain parts, especially the wings on this moth are I had to sacrifice a plastic cutting board to make these wings. But they came out great. They came out exactly how I was hoping they would. So a sacrifice well made. But like I said, unpainted, so I'm not quite ready to show it off. I'm not even sure I will show it off until the trailer drops. We'll see. We'll see. Are you sure Games Workshop doesn't need your money for plastic crack? They have enough money without me contributing to it.
Yeah.
I will potentially be going to the UK sometime this fall. Potentially. Not sure just yet. Don't know how I'm gonna get the funds, but there's plans and formulations in the work right now, and going to the UK obviously presents me with the funniest thing I could do is stand outside Games Workshop headquarters with the colony posters. Which I'm sure they will promptly ask me to leave, but, you know.
Yeah.
Worth it for the bit.
I'm not a sycophant. I'm a sycophant. You have to emphasize the ant. Why are you tasing me?
Yeah. But officer, I'm an American. I have rights. Give Madame Tussauds your kit bashes. Yeah, I mean, Madame Tussauds, that's Wax Museum, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. None of my stuff is made of wax. It won't fit there. What aren't the bloodsuckers from Darkest Dungeon lovely? I actually have not played Darkest Dungeon yet. Surprisingly. I know what it is. I know what the gameplay loop is, but I don't know anything about the lore or the enemies or anything like that. I'm not sure they would. I don't know. I'm not sure they would make an exception just because it's Colony. Can you imagine, like, human-sized Colony statues?
I'm as strong as an ant if an ant were this big.
Oh, you're messing with me. Is this a termite or an ant you're drawing, by the way?
Termite. I believe
Nice.
that was the idea that I had at the very least.
Man, no wonder he's swole. Look at how stanced up he is, man.
Mm-hmm.
I need to play Darkest Dungeon then. Noted. I know that I've got it somewhere in my Steam library. Human-sized colony insects would be an interesting sight, I suppose. Well, I'm thinking, if ever we were to, in some fantasy future, have like a colony con or something like that, you know, or have any kind of like convention presence in general. Uh, Having some life-size Sakuda to get your picture taken with would be pretty cool. And then I can store them in my garage and frighten intruders with them. Nothing is a better theft deterrent than giant ants in your garage.
Nothing screams conversation starter like a 32 times scaled pin board of insects.
I'm still thinking about the glass insect collection that I saw at the Glass Museum in Seattle.
Oh yeah.
That was breathtaking. That was beautiful. It was so cool. I don't know if I posted pictures of those in the community server.
I don't think you did.
Well, after the stream, I'll go back through my camera roll and I'll post them there. They were incredible to see. Nothing says psychopath like a life-size ant made of ants. Yeah, probably. That goes hard. Life-size ant made of ants. I want to know how many ants it would take to make a human-sized ant. No, you don't. Okay, y'all, fine. You tell me. You tell me then. You don't want that in your search history. Man, I'm gonna be real with you. Colony has put some very strange things in my search history already. My FBI agent already knows that, like, my obsession with bugs is already, like, I'm far too gone at this point.
Oh man, this guy's got brain worms. He's gonna be a politician.
Okay. I don't know if I want to get into that line of discussion right now, but that was a good one. It's super surreal that the intro video, the Welcome to the World of Colony videos, at like almost 20,000 views. It's very, very weird to think about.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Look. Okay, yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah. Pop a bottle of champagne. video good. Well, I appreciate that. I put a lot of work into that one. So that does mean a lot to me that you like it. I'm glad that it was strong enough, like a strong enough pull that a lot of people got into it from there.
Yeah.
Who's doing the art today? That would be Perp. Don't forget to put in your search history world's deadliest bugs and how to care for them. Ugh. If I were to own any bug, it'd either be a jumping spider, a praying mantis, or a moth. I don't think I've thought about maybe starting a small ant farm. I don't know. The logistical issue. Oh, go on.
Oh, the thing about an ant farm is that it's at least a little challenging to keep it in such a way that you can put food in, but the ants can't get out.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, there's also the logistical issue of, I don't know how to milk ants, so I don't know if they're going to be great livestock anyway. How do you milk an almond?
How indeed.
I've seen it happen. I can't.
It haunts my dreams. I don't want to fall asleep anymore. Once again, don't search, yeah.
But how do the shrimp fry the rice?
Wood-fired pizza? How's pizza gonna find a job now?
Wait till you hear about what what 7 did to 9.
No! Ugh. It's that one bit from Spy Kids. Do you think God stays in heaven because he too is afraid of what he created? Do you think S stays in the sky because he's afraid of bugs?
He left his he left his house sneakers in like the wash before he left the building, so he's just kind of like, I don't want to walk inside of this building with without my shoes on, but I don't want to step on anything. It's gonna be weird.
Yeah. Bugs are gross. Road work ahead. I sure hope it does. Yeah. God. Vine. Excellent era of the internet. The people who came out of it, maybe not so much. But the bits on display, excellent.
At least the ones that have stood the
Survived.
test of time.
Yeah.
Vine has gotten old enough that like the slop has kind of settled under the surface, but the good ones stick around. There's a
Yeah.
lot of casual racism.
Yeah.
A lot of casual racism. The colony rulebook doesn't have an arachnophobia filter. I don't know if we can put an arachnophobia filter on that, man.
Yeah. Not really.
Let's be real. if you're coming for bug game and you've got arachnophobia, that's just something you're gonna have to accept, man.
It's just the black background with the circle logo, and then the next page is the same thing from the back end. The document's only two pages long.
Yeah. Heard of the bone collector caterpillar? Sure have, yeah. That was a pretty recent discovery that they made for that guy. Very, very cool. Similar behavioral stuff as, like, what's it called? The bag moth, you know, the bagworm. That also has that behavioral trait of collecting materials to make a more suitable armor defensive cocoon out of it. Very fascinating. That's part of why I love working on bug game, because bug game keeps me up to date with cool bugs. And everybody and their dog sends me bug news every day, so I'm never missing out on anything. You make the arachnophobia filter rulebook as an April Fool's bit. I could. That would be really funny, actually. Because one thing that I have actually wanted to do, I wanted to lift the idea from Red Star Games, is the way that Red Star Games handles April Fool's content, where it's actual content, but it's just kind of like goofy. It's, you know.
Right. We keep it in some little document so that, you know, the people who want a purist, like, Bionicle canon experience in their, you know, the Red Star Games material can have that, and the people who, you know, want to, like, play with slicers or whatever can.
And, or Galador, or Robo Riders, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that for Colony, that would be pretty fun as, like, an April Fool's thing to have references to other bug stuff, maybe, but then you get into IP stuff, and then you got to be careful. You got to be really careful. So, whatever it would be that we would be doing with April Fools, it would have to be just nondescript enough to count as not getting us into legal trouble. An ant worker that says I'm doing my part. Yeah, exactly.
Actually, since you mentioned this, Mayor, if I can elaborate a little bit more about the Red Star Games April Fool's Day process.
Please do.
Small glimpse behind the scenes. We do try to keep everything to a certain standard of quality, so that it's not just a playable gag, it's a high effort gag.
Which are the best, of course.
Yeah,
the
something to
highest
think about.
quality rips.
Yeah. Although, speaking personally, I think we're probably still a ways off from being able to do April Fool's anything, but just because we have so much left to do on the game proper.
Yeah. Game proper will obviously take priority until we're ready to ship. And even then, after shipping, it's gonna be a lot of gearing up for updates and things like that too, because base game will be really nice to get out there for you all to play and everything, but there is definitely a lot more content that we know we're gonna have to get out there before we're finished with it. have a termite complaining how deep the rock and stony works with this. Ugh. It'd be interesting we get if we could like talk to Team Cherry and like have a skin swap of Hollow Knight with some colony stuff. That'd be funny.
Oh yeah, 300 more cards.
Yeah. Let's temper expectations here.
Yeah. Like I said, it would be fun. Unrealistic, but fun. Expansion book called Power Creep, and you can just play as an elephant. That's really funny. Mantis complaining about how hollow he feels at night. Oh, the possibilities are endless.
Just like the amount of days between now and the release of Silk Song.
No shade to Team Cherry, no, because let's be real,
I
we
was
know what
going
it
to
feels
say,
like
I
to
don't
be in
think-
development hell.
Yeah, I don't think we have any room to talk, Mir.
Well, I wasn't the one who made the jokes.
I know.
Coming May.
Oh, God.
Oh!
Which may? The world may never know. I gotta throw in the two other music pieces that I've finished for part 2 into the playlist. Get that in the rotation. Yeah. Oh, got a new friend. Just joined the server. Welcome, Decaf.
Decaf?
If you're watching the stream, glad to have you here. That note, it could be made so that way that one player is the elephant and the other players treat him like a whole map to explore. That'd be cool. Town on top of a Colossus trope. I've always loved that trope. That's actually something that a friend of mine from back in Arizona had an idea for Colony that I thought was fascinating. A kind of a, how do you explain it? Almost like a tribe of horseflies that have almost like infected and are being, what's it called, parasitic on a kell or something like that, which I thought was a fascinating idea, you know.
daily life as a louse.
Dude, those my daily life as a monk videos, but it's an ant. Honestly, would actually kind of make some fire content for the Colony channel. Might do something like that.
I'll wake up, brush my antennae, go out to work, tolerate some poi.
Tolerate some of boy. Really how it be. This truly was an Undertale. Can I play this? Is this in Colony? No. I'm sorry. Bow and all, no.
You cannot play the bulk detonator. I know.
Literally 1984. The oppression from the Colony team right now. It's a part of the power creep expansion. Let's be real, the power creep expansion booklet would just be a single page that just says go outside with a magnifying glass.
Oh.
Just the ingredients on the back of a bottle of Raid.
Half of them you can't pronounce. I hear they keep, like, because obviously insects are very good at adapting and very quick to, excuse me, very quick to, like, evolve to adapt to different toxins within their environment. And so companies like Raid have to keep adjusting their formulas to keep up with the new adaptations that insects are making against their bug bombs and stuff like that. It's crazy.
So hey, real quick, for those of you in the YouTube chat, if you've just joined the Discord server, go ahead and take a look in the rules channel. You'll find a set of questions that you need to answer to gain entrance.
Yep. It's just 3 questions, right?
Yep.
And once you, yeah, it's super easy. Just at the bottom of rules, just above the friend server link. Colony releases its own Pokemon Go. It's called Go Outside. Go outside and catch some bugs, man. April Fool's expansion pack. Honestly, yeah. Sorry, been vibing to the Sorasol music.
Nothing to apologize for.
I've just been quiet. The Sora Sol music was really cool to develop for because I created all of these very, very short leitmotifs for each of them. And some of them were, like, not even all that particularly... They were much more subtle, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like the one for Batul, I'm just introducing heavier drums into it to kind of emulate the heavy footsteps, you know. And I don't know. There was like there was a lot of intentionality in how I developed this one, and I was really happy with it. I still have a wicked blister on the tip of my finger from when I burned it with the hot glue gun the other night.
Oh.
I gotta go. It's now like. It's gotten to a point where I think if I drain it and then bandage it, I think it'll go away in a couple of days. But it's just been. It just kept swelling up, and I was just like, I'm gonna let this just do its thing for a minute. Just not bother, because it doesn't hurt right now. It's just it's weird. So I was trying to use the reason why the hot glue burned me to begin with, because usually I'm pretty safe about that sort of thing. I had a bunch of the plumber's putty like stuck in my fingerprints. I was trying to like get it to wash out, and I realized, oh hey, if I put a little bit of hot glue down and let it cool for a second, and then dip my finger in it, I can like peel it, and it'll get in all of those cracks and pull it out. And I thought I left the glue to cool for a rather substantial amount of time. But I guess it wasn't enough, and I just burned myself. So, but it did get the gunk out of my fingerprints. So I won that part of the fight. I certainly removed part of my fingerprint, yeah. I can go and commit a crime, and they'll only be able to know that it's me with 92% certainty.
Including the fact that you just talked about it on a public live stream.
Exactly.
94.
94. The evidence is circumstantial at best. little ramble, but since you talked about MTG once, I've been getting into Spice 8 Racks content lately. It just makes me happy to see someone passionate about the storytelling and not just the game. I am unfamiliar with Spice 8 Rack, but I will go give them a watch. I'm willing to bet my roommate, who's way more into Magic than I am, will probably know who you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good.
That's really good. Dude, if I just shave my beard off, I'll just be Big Brother.
Ugh.
Oh, disgusting. And the tyranny. No. Oh, no. Oh. You cannot play Colony as a bulk detonator. No, you may not play Colony as a as a grave mind. Holly, I feel like you know more about Halo lore than I do. What's above a grave mind?
Oh, that's probably like extended Halo lore.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Not really my area of expertise.
That's a Matt area of expertise then. Shoot.
Yeah.
Usually above a grave mine is like grave marker, but if they're being housed in like a building structure, above them would be a roof.
Ah. So, above a grave mind is a mausoleum, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
Above the mines in the grave usually is the rest of France.
Jeez. Oh, man.
People love talking about their back rooms. Yeah, we have those. It's called the catacombs.
Just as cryptid-like as any other back rooms. You go into the back rooms of any like 7-Eleven or mini mart of any sort, and it is legit just the back rooms. pack rooms also exist. There's a picture that was the sole inspiration, and it's some soon-to-be indoor racetrack. That's kind of sick. I can't believe the back rooms are getting a theme park in them. And before GTA 6? That's crazy. For the Backrooms movie as well, yeah. Shame the Backrooms movie will not be filmed in the source location of the Backrooms.
Backrooms movie should just become a solo. Just should become a stealth sequel to Office Space.
You know, I was thinking about maybe a Backrooms film in the style of Skinamarink. I feel like that really uneasy, very slow, methodical, there's gross feeling in the pit of your gut kind of cinematography would be a really good way to get the Backrooms emotions across in a film, you know? Backrooms card. Now $90. Backrooms film where the camera falls into the backrooms and it just sits there filming nothing for 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Made on a
That-
budget of $80 million. CGI
Yeah.
$60 million.
This entire thing may have been just a tax write-off. Who knows? It's so bad it's good. You just don't understand it. The Backrooms Money Laundering Edition, yes.
As developed by Warner Brothers.
You saying Warner Brothers just sent my brain off into it, like, it ejected my brain off into Animaniac space, dude. That 1984 picture of me is so crazy. Whew. It's a good one. Well, you got folks who are hanging out in the YouTube chats. They're hanging out here. Oh well, I guess I don't know about Calum. I don't know what he's up to right now. The lurker. He might be in the YouTube chat. He might just be chilling somewhere else and saw that. Oh yeah, I suppose I have a little bit of news from this past weekend on Saturday. So I got to go to this kind of like I, I call it a decentralized Comic Con. Basically, what it was a bunch of the shops around the downtown area of the town that I'm in got together and they were like, "Hey, let's put together a proof of concept for a Comic Con that they wanted, or it's a general nerd and craft and creativity convention, I suppose. It's not just comics, but they they were doing it at all of their individual shops on a day when there was also a a vendor street fair on one of the intersections in the downtown district, and so it was very, very cool. They had games of D&D going. They had all sorts of cool stuff going, and then there were the vendors outside. There was somebody at a local tailor shop who was doing cosplay like tutorials and like workshops and things. And so I got to head over there and I posted some colony posters in the game shop that I like to visit, and it was cool. I got to talk with a few people about Colony. I got to play a little D&D. Got to learn a few war games. It was really cool. Had a lot of fun.
Nice.
Imagine a war game that uses Colony as base. I mean, that is the intent.
We have good news for you.
As a matter of fact, that is what Colony is. So, the gist of what the game is going to be is there's going to be like three distinct styles of play of the Colony game. You're going to have Arena, which is like PvP. It's one champion fighting another. You're going to have Adventure, where it's more like an RPG, where you have a bunch of champions fighting environments, so it's PvE, and the environmental creatures being controlled by a game monarch. And then Swarm format, which is going to be two game monarchs using the mechanics that they use to control creatures during combat to wage large-scale battles. So yes, there already is a war game that uses Colony as base. So there you go. It is, in fact, Colony the game. And we'll get you more details on how all that works at a later date.
Did you ever post that card that you were talking about?
Oh, I never did. Hold on. Let me go look for the artwork in the in folders real quick. One moment. And I could be off base, and this wasn't the intent for it to be a companion piece, but I assumed it was. One moment. I'll DM it to you. I think this is technically unreleased still, so.
Right.
And I'll send it to you too, Holly, so you know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is the one that I was thinking of.
Yeah. Rate your setup, bro. Bro, what? What? Some intense brain rot you got going on there, man.
Nah, this looks like the
Average.
setup that Jack uses.
Oh,
Average
God.
setup for a single monitor person. Yeah.
Yeah, Jack has one of his monitors divided into 4 vertical windows.
Bro, what? I don't think I have more than two windows up at a time. No more than 3, certainly. I can't. My ADHD won't let me have more than that. Like, that's crazy. You're supposed to be studying for finals.
Uh-oh. Oh. Well, alright then.
Yo! That's sick. So, technically, we're helping you study.
Still, Subway Surfers, gotta get Temple Run, man.
Ah, yes, my favorite bugs, the grave mind and anything above it. Oh, hello, Mother Tree.
Yeah. Trying to get this looking right. Copy image.
Quick conjure insect facts to help him on his finals. Bugs don't got blood. Bugs don't breathe with lungs. Bugs don't have a moral compass. I don't know, man. I mean, hemolymph functions as blood for them, but it's not technically blood. Not in the way that our blood is blood, you know?
This reminds me of a different conversation that I have had too many times.
That's true. Cats do not belong in the kingdom of insects. That is very true. That's true. You got me there. I suppose some bugs steal blood. Bruh.
No, bugs.
Chat, is this real? That shade of lilac on the top wing, that currently left wing, is one of my favorite colors. I love that color. It can't be. It can't be. Pack, where's the chat mirrors reading? Oh, hey. What's good, Pack? Let me get you a link for the colony server. One moment. Good to see you. Glad you can make it to the stream, Pack. There you go. There's a link to our Discord server. Jump in the rules channel. There's a bunch of there's like 3 questions down at the bottom of the rules that once you answer it, you'll get access to the rest of the server. Dogs are elephants? Explain this, atheists. Dogs are elephants is something explained in the Power Creep expansion booklet. I want everybody to know without a shadow of a doubt that the expansion booklet is not real. Did beetles evolve before or after flowers? I don't know. I know that sharks are older than trees. Which came first, the spider or the taco? Depends on how we classify taco as a food group. We got, you have open face sandwiches, you have bowls, you've got tacos. Somebody's made diagrams of this. I can't even explain the kinds of shapes we're talking about. Are ostracods tacos? Are clams tacos? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Oof. The sun's starting to creep in through my window after it being overcast all day. Ugh. I'm a goblin. I'm not supposed to be out in the sun. That's a lie. I actually love being out in the sun. I just don't want it directly in my eyes while I'm on my computer. Yeah, real. Oh, jeez. Right, Yolf is in Europe. I forgot.
Yeah, I thought you had to sleep, Yulf.
Yeah, you were gonna take off a while ago, weren't you? Taco that. Taco that only has seafood and a really hard shell, so a bad one, but still a taco. Oh, excellent. Okay. Chef. Yeah, that works. That's fine. Welcome to the server pack. Farewell, Yolf. Go get some sleep.
See you, Yulf.
Take care, man. I've answered your riddles 3. Oh. This is coming out excellent, Perp.
Mm-hmm.
The chef's kiss atmosphere.
Yeah.
I think that's one cool thing that Colony's got going for it is that beyond just being cool art, the art has just insanely interesting vibes, like always.
It does.
Ooh. My downloads folder showed up in chat for half a second. It was actually my meme folder, so it's fine.
Oh, yes, so it did.
It's okay. I don't have anything I'm ashamed of in my memes folder. I don't have anything I'm ashamed of on my computer in general. I'm a good lad. What percentage of the memes folder is of bugs? I actually have a whole like subfolder dedicated to just colony memes. The rest is bug homework.
Hello, Caleb.
Oh, hey, Caleb. Welcome to the chat. Give that homework to that one kid for his finals. Perp's artwork has a sort of Zaku 2 vibe to it. I don't know what Zaku 2 is. We can go find out. Oh, it's it's Gundam. I kind of see what you mean, though.
Yeah, I've only watched G Witch and half of Iron Blooded Orphans at current point. So most Gundam influence is probably just me coming off from a heavy sci-fi arts angle body of work. There we go.
Yeah, it's cool. I definitely get what you mean though with like the shaping though. It's cool. That's a connection I would have never made. My sci-fi binge from last year was what all did I go through? I went through the entirety of the new Battlestar Galactica series, and by new I mean the newest. Not that there's a new one out, but that one was incredible. Actual cinema. Every single episode. I don't know how they did it. What else? What else did I watch? I started watching Eureka 7, which is like another mecha anime. Let's see. What else? Why did they have the hots for the Cylons? You got me, man. I mean, some of them were very human-like. Like, do you remember 6? Of course you don't. What else? I started Eureka 7, which was cool. The mecha in that anime fly through the power of belief. Like, it's... I can't explain it. What else? By the way, beetles did evolve before flowers. That's sick. That's actually really cool. It's another sharks and trees fact. Honestly, I just think, like, that was my most recent huge sci-fi binge for, like, new stuff that I haven't seen before was BSG last year. Trying to draw Zaku's leg from memory. Oh, sorry, I didn't see the question. Will centipedes have lore or have something? Yes, centipedes have some lore. They are children of the Amber, so they were created by Zek. Um, they are very dragon-like in the way that they behave, in terms of, like, when they get into a place that's like their lair, and they're very protective of their lairs. And I've had this idea for, like, an absolutely enormous Titanic centipede that would annex and usurp a what's it called? Like a Terra burrow. So uh, it's almost like a cursed location to the Terra now. Uh, I've had, yeah. So there's some lore with the centipedes. Yeah. Sent to Smaug. Very, yeah, very much inspired by Smaug and Erebor. Yeah.
Smeog.
What's it like trying to make a game for insect lovers when no two people on Earth have the same favorite bug? You just gotta love them all.
Mm.
That's really what it comes down to. You gotta give love, care, and attention to every one of them so that way everybody gets what they want. Or at the very least, everybody feels seen. It might not be what they want, but it's the way I want to present it, and I want to give it attention, so.
It's a big, small world out there.
Mm-hmm. I've got it. We make a game, a video game of Colony, and we call it Little Big Planet.
Hey, with the rate that things are going, that IP might actually lapse.
God, that's sad.
It is.
Free title though.
No, 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 no. I might run bits, but I'm not a scumbag.
But don't you love the history behind Sierra Mist?
I did. That is one that I actually really like. But let's be honest, Pepsi had that one coming after what they did.
Yeah.
I don't know if the developers of Little Big Planet really deserve to have their IP rug pulled out from under them.
It's not the IP, just the name.
No, just, well, I suppose you're right, but even so.
A rose by any other name is still Mario Maker.
A beam up by any other name is still a good game. Do you think those bug kiss things come in purple?
Mm.
Green's just not really my color.
It just doesn't go with my outfit.
Yeah. If I'm gonna be out in public kissing bugs, I at least want to look fashionable while doing it. I'm not the purple man. I'm not the purple man! I swear I'm not. Man, where's Jade when the When the Five Nights at Freddy's memes start pouring in.
She's waiting every night to finally roam and invite newcomers to play along.
Shoot. If you're gonna get Chagas disease from kissing bugs, might as well have the fit on point. Ooh. I don't know what you just did to the light there. Behind the butterfly, like with that light seep over it, but god, that looks good.
Mhm.
Is there actually a bee in FNAF? I don't even know, man. I don't like. I know nothing about FNAF lore, even after watching like a 4 hour lore video about it. I still know nothing, man.
Don't worry, you're about on par with the rest of the theorist crew then.
Fair enough. Wait, that's a fan game that uses Jollibee characters? That's insane. I've never been to Jollibee's. I don't know what it tastes like. I presume delicious because everybody says so.
If you ever manage to get back over on this side of the country for Brick Fair, there's a Jollibee that's like 2, 3 minutes away from the con center.
Excellent. Okay, will do. The last time that I got to try out a new restaurant that is renowned, I suppose, was when I was in that's like over on the east side of the country. I was in Atlanta and I got to try Bojangles. It was okay. I don't think it was my it was good. I want to say that. I don't think it's my favorite chicken joint, but it was good. Also, I have to say, Waffle House in Atlanta is the best Waffle House I've ever been to. I like every time I've been to a Waffle House outside of Georgia, it was the the stereotypical horrifying Waffle House experience. The one time that I go when I'm in Georgia is incredible. Amazing even. It was great. The floors were clean, the service was super friendly. Everybody's cracking jokes. It was a good time. Waffle House was great.
Nice.
Hack says, I think FNAF is kind of like Colony, but if Zek was an English immigrant living in Ohio or Utah or something, and instead of stealing magic from butterflies, he stole immortality juice made from human pain. That's nuts.
Not inaccurate.
That's. Yeah. Oh. Weevil McDevil. And he made animatronic animals instead of spiders. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Were scorpions one of Zek's children? Yes, they are. Correct. Are there beetle folk in the game? Uh, not yet. Uh, beetle folk will be available in a future expansion. Well, you'll. It's a lot of lore that I can't really get into just yet, but the the gist of it is that I'd like to make it so that way there's a handful of specific beetle species that you'll be able to play as, but the primary one that I think we've already let out of the bag is ladybugs. Oh, those are big raindrops. Ooh, that's sick.
It really sells the scale.
Yeah. Are there legends in the world of Colony for the origin of rain? I don't remember if that was said once or not. Not that I've really explored. That doesn't mean that there aren't. It's just I haven't really put any thought into that. There are traditions about Ngao being a water god, and so a lot of the time when they pray for rain, they'll pray to Ngao. Aside from that, not really like where the water comes from precisely, but 2d12 trapped in a raindrop damage. That is kind of something that can happen, yeah. Not
The spider went up the water spout, down to the rain, washed the spider out.
True. Man spitting facts. But they do think of rain as being like a thing that comes from Lao, but I don't know if they really think of it in any more or less of a mythological sense than any of the rest of the elements of nature. Everything is just just inherently tied to their reality. Like both, like, how do I explain it? For them, existence itself is almost like this miracle, like this magic unto itself, and so they, all of the elements around them are as equally magical as a result of that. That there are, that the elements and the way that they associate those elements with their pantheon and all that is just inherently linked to itself. They have some notion, like, they are certainly in that same boat as humanity has been in at certain times, where they ask the question, what are the mechanics by which God operates the universe, basically. And they have like these light early forms of science that they perform every so often, but it's not to the extent that humanity has done it. They understand a handful of core scientific principles, but they don't understand the application for why it matters on a grander scale. And frankly, it just doesn't really matter to them anyway. Life is magical when the moth folk overcharges for a potion that's just rainwater. Yeah. Yeah. They have concepts of things like universal laws of physics and things like that they call them deep laws. They're simply things that cannot be changed. Like gravity is one of the ideas of the deep laws. There are other kinds of laws like that, and they kind of think of the laws as being forces of nature unto themselves that aren't personified within the pantheon. They are simply things that are. They are the medium. They are not they are not like things that interface on the medium. They are the medium. As said, nuh-uh, you're staying on the ground, buddy. Exactly. And that's the thing, is that like gravity is one of those laws. One of the laws is and they're not like very specific. Like they're very esoteric things. They don't have a whole lot of links to each other. At least no links that they're able to understand or comprehend, or that they're even seeking. I think the closest group that you would find to folks who are trying to almost usurp the necessity of believing in the pantheon and within the religion are the Het. The Het are seeking deeper knowledge into the workings of the universe. And but they kind of go about it from not necessarily an atheistic standpoint, like trying to exclude God out of the equation. They're doing it from like almost an agnostic point of view, where it's like it doesn't matter if they're real or not. These laws exist, and we're going to understand why. And they're starting to pick up some of the right ideas, but again, they don't have the right frame of reference to, or even the right scale to be able to test things very well. And so they have a lot of misconceptions about certain things. But yeah, so if there's any scientific community within Colony, the closest one you'd find is the Het.
Bro, really trying to get us to walk past the whole the world, the machinations of the world of Colony are esoteric.
Yeah. Like 1600 science where they're sorta on the right track. Yeah, exactly. There is a particular direction that they're heading, and they're starting to get an idea for what it is exactly that they're even looking for. He has his own lab coat. Exactly. Excuse me. Astronomical studies in Manta monasteries. Yes. So the Manta, that's not exactly science that they're looking for. The astronomical studies are more astrological, in the sense that they're more fortune tellers and more like they are seeking out prophecy through charting the stars. So they do have stargazing observatories, but they're not using them for necessarily science. Yeah, astrology. Yeah.
They're trying to get their horoscopes and blood types, but they don't got any blood, so it's hard to figure out that one.
Pisces ant. Do not bring a manta into your adventuring party. She will tell you all your zodiac horoscopes. Oh no. The spice melange, cumin. Man- Manta ate her mate because she's a Gemini. He was a Capricorn. Or whatever the bad lip reading was. Oh my gosh, Perp, this is looking awesome.
It really is.
Oh man. Speen. Bruh. That's so good. I looked over at my phone and I read the time, and the 5 looked like a 9 for a second, and I was like, there's no way. There's no way it's 9:41 and the sun's still out, man.
We haven't been here quite that long.
No.
We are a little
Losing
over
it.
time, but not by that much.
That's okay. We started a tiny bit late anyway. And yeah, whenever you feel like you are in a good spot to stop, just let us know. We can call it quits. Oh, Bonsai Blaster says, happy I could catch the stream. Hope everything is going alright with you. Yeah, yeah. Cool stuff on the horizon, getting artwork done.
Mm-hmm.
Games getting worked on. Song of Origins is getting worked on. Lots of good stuff. Rats in the chat.
Yeah.
I love rats, so they are more than welcome. I guess they're hamsters, not rats, but still. Also, all of these hamsters look like 40-year-old men on Facebook.
They kind of do, yeah.
That one does not. Yeah, I know. I was just thinking, man, I am 10 years out from being a 40-year-old man on Facebook. I gotta get a PFP appropriate for it.
Pull the perspective in. That looks so good.
Oh, oh, just another masterpiece.
Mm.
I know I've expressed this on many occasions, but I'm gonna say it one more time because I firmly believe it. Colony's got the coolest artists ever
Agree.
of all time. The vision, the understanding, the momentum, the framing, the dynamics, all of it on point. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. The once we get into a production phase, the Colony team is getting custom special editions of the Colony game. Don't you worry. Bonsai Blaster says Colony has one of the coolest aesthetics ever. Thank you, I agree. Calum is offering Holly $50 in a Hot Wheels car for your special edition of Colony. I feel like that's answer enough. I love the description of whimsical grimdark that you guys use. Perfectly captures what I like about Colony. Yeah, yeah, that was a term coined by Matt. The whimsical grimdark idea. And I think he's right. I think he really nailed that idea of what Colony as a brand is. I made this bubble. Now where to put it?
Sometimes it be like that.
It.
As much as I respect the single layer speed painters, I just think being able to move elements like this is incredibly handy.
Oh yeah. We found water on the moon. Calum says, I was chatting with a media studies buddy. Grimdark only works with some humor and levity. I agree. I think there's a certain amount of grimdark that you can't really sell if you take it entirely seriously. Um, yeah, exactly. Because they like to a certain extent the premise of grimdark worlds is often already very contrived and goofy as it is, that you are placing into a more serious characterization of the content. And so if you don't have any of that goofiness still in it, then it kind of loses its own message, you know? It loses its own coolness. Colony Tyranids expansion when? Uh. Gotta. You got me there. We're not doing that. Thoughts on plume moths? Um, hold on, let me familiarize myself. Oh, these guys, yeah. They're cool. They're little guys. Very fairy-like.
Let me just get acquainted with these guys' entire bibliography. Ah, neato.
I mean, they're weird in as much as every other bug is weird. Like, bugs are weird, man. Plume moths remind me a lot of, like crane flies. Just in the way, like, how gangly they are. Can we use any species of moths slash butterflies for the het, or do you want us to stick to canon? Well, it would just be moths. I know that in some cases there's a lot of borderline cases with whether it's a moth or a butterfly, but in the case of colony, we kind of do make that distinction between them. So with moths, you can use any moth really, and you can we have like sizing charts so you can size your moth appropriately. the one that I've been working on is a rather large moth, to be honest. It's and I'm thinking it's probably going to be something like a Luna moth. What about moths with massive wings? You can do that. I will say the smaller moths that you work with, the better your adventure is gonna probably be. And I don't mean like necessarily like keep them small, like small scale, or sorry, small size in the game sizing sense. I mean it as in like, don't go for an Atlas moth, you know? Like that Luna moth right there is probably a fine size to play with. Uh, Atlas moths are very, very big in comparison to many of the other species that you're going to be encountering, and they're going to be, your size in comparison to other insects is going to have some bearing on the way you're going to experience the game, and in some cases it can be a detriment. So we recommend that the species that you play as be, yeah, exactly. We recommend that you choose a species that is in comparable size to the rest of the party's species that you're playing with. Yeah, that's the size of an Atlas moth. That thing's huge. It would probably not fit well in a party.
Of course, up to a certain point, it really is just a question of what is your game monarch going to allow, but I could see potentially including some guidelines and tips
Yeah.
for that kind of thing.
And of course, I will always say this. If you just want to fudge the size and be like, I'm an Atlas moth, but I'm smaller, I don't care. That's your prerogative, you know? I may not show that in canon material, but that doesn't stop you from being creative. I certainly don't want to be the one to tell you, hey, this is not how you're supposed to play this game or anything like that. I'm telling you what I am including in the canon material. And giving you tips on the best way to handle it if you want to adhere strictly to the way that canon works. But you don't have to do it strictly by those kinds of rules, necessarily. There are some rules that you should follow if you want it to be canon compliant, but you don't have to have everything canon compliant to make it still an impactful game, you know? Me choosing pygmy mole cricket so I can swim, burrow, and fly. On God, I did not know that was a thing. I'll have to look more into a pygmy mole cricket. That guy's funky looking. Predatory grasshopper species? I mean, we cover it in the same like territory as Manta, where, you know, praying mantises are predatory. They're cannibal, or well, they're carnivorous. They're not cannibals. They're, well, sometimes they are, but they're carnivorous.
Only when their
and,
horoscopes don't match up.
Yeah. uh, on God. But so in their case, they've adapted into this way of life where they recognize that there are some species that are, you know, if they can speak, they're not okay to eat. And they try not to eat in excess. They try not to hunt in excess. They try and just hunt enough for themselves and those who are in their stewardship to take care of. Um, and in that similar vein, the grasshoppers have adopted that same sense of civility, where they don't eat other species. But in the case of the grasshopper, or they don't eat other sentient species, but in the case of the grasshoppers, they might overindulge in eating. They don't necessarily have that cultural comprehension that you shouldn't overhunt. But that's partially because they are more closely associated worship-wise with Dar, who is the god of merriment and debauchery and overindulgence and so yeah. Anyway, it would be an Edome species with me trying to make the DM to tear their hair out with my species bonuses. The Edome are gonna be cool. I hope you guys really like them. They're we've talked about how they're kind of our bard within the universe, and we tried to make them interesting, and we're gonna do some more gameplay and testing to make sure that they work well.
Yeah, I was just having that kind of like creeping suspicion of, did I make the Edome too strong? I don't think we've tested the Edome all that much yet.
Not a whole lot. I definitely need to do more testing. They definitely work better than they did in earlier builds. I'll kind of like give you a walkthrough of what the idea was, and it's not necessarily that the idea was bad, and actually far from it. I really liked the idea. It's just that it didn't work in the context of how we were building the game. So we had this one developer who isn't on the team anymore. He's doing other stuff, but he had this idea for Edome musical magic, where the traits in the cards Speen.
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 Their card traits were you had different sections of songs, and then you would build up the song, like customize a song through the card play. It was really fascinating as a concept, and I really liked it. But then in practice, you would just have some cards available to you that you could finish a song with, but you couldn't start a song. And you had to have particular kinds of cards to start a song. And so sometimes you'd have a hand full of effects and targets or whatever it was, but you couldn't get a song started to actually make the effect come to fruition. And so you'd just be stuck with a handful of cards you couldn't use. And so it was a really cool idea, and in other game contexts it would have worked really well, but not in the way that we were building the game. So we had to scrap it and think over it, and now each song card trait is its own compartmentalized song, but they now have more like family categories of different kinds of songs. But yeah. Anyway, how you doing, Perp? You feel like you're ready to call it quits for today?
Yeah, there's another thing that I'm not made to go there, but I'm suggested to show up.
I got you. Thank you so much. This looks amazing. You did so well, and
It's beautiful.
It's super gorgeous. Thank you so much, man. And with that, we're gonna call it quits, guys. Y'all have a great night. Thank you for coming out. This was a really fun one. Y'all take care, and we will talk to you later.